Welcome back to Everything Whiskey. I'm Callum,
And I'm Sam.
and today we're reviewing Dewar's 18.
Dewar. Alrighty, while Kelly's pouring his, let's get into it. So, Dewar's 18 is a blend. Now, it is a combination of a fair few. There's Highlands and Speysides. So, obviously, aged for a minimum of 18 years. From the Highlands, there is Aberfeldy, Macduff, and Royal Brackla. And the Speysides are Craigellachie and Altmore. Now, what are your thoughts on your... You had a reaction.
Oh, on my first one.
Yeah, he had a sniff and had a bit of a reaction.
I mean, it's been a while since I've had this.
Yeah, me too.
And I just remember having, how do I say this politely? No flavor, no taste in as a whiskey, especially for an 18-year-old. But coming back to it, it's actually jumping out the glass a bit.
That's good. Yeah,
It's quite
for me,
nice.
It's kind of getting a bit more like nuttiness and stuff that I couldn't detect before. Now, Dewar's has been around for a long time. I think it's 1840. It was.
Yeah, it's a long
1846.
time. Yeah.
So they know their way around the block, but yeah, they're a blend. So, and there is nothing wrong with a blend. They are like a really good example of being open about being a blend, and that being perfectly fine, and it not affecting their sales whatsoever. So, like right up the front of their bottle, they have if it will say in your bottle, Curly, as well. It has on the front, the vintage blended Scotch, and then down the bottom it says exactly what distilleries. Yeah, right there. It says exactly what distilleries they've sourced their whiskey from, and then they put it all together after they all reach 18 years. They put it all together and they marry it for several months. They say.
Yeah.
So just because it's a blend doesn't mean that it's not still a lot of effort and an investment. Like, these are all separate barrels. These are all technically before they got blended single malts. So it's stuff, and then it's thrown in together.
And when it comes to the bottling, it's actually really high quality. Like this cork, it's a really heavy cork. You can just tell it's well crafted. I like the bottle layout, design. I love how it's like it opens up at the top. It's a really nice bottle.
Like it's easy for Dewars to make this because they're not making it. They're sourcing it. But it's one of their blends. So people think that that's got to be automatically not good quality. But you've got to look at the distilleries that they're getting their whiskey from, the barrels that go into the blend. And if you've got if you place pretty high regard in those distilleries, then you're getting good whiskey. Just because it's blended doesn't mean it's bad. Like Aberfeldy, a fantastic Highland malt. Like, I love Aberfeldy, and the same goes for Royal Brackla. It's a great one. So I have no issue I'm not worried about the quality in the bottle of the Dewar's 18. I know that there are good distilleries making these whiskey going into the blend. So that worry, that concern people have. When it is transparent on the information, I have no worries whatsoever. There's nothing wrong with blending as an actual practice. It's more the transparency of it that I have an issue with.
Yeah.
But Dewars is not someone I have an issue with doing, because they're completely transparent with their blending.
All right, let's jump into the nose on the Dewars.
Getting like hay.
Yeah, really nutty flavors as well.
Yeah, I'm getting like waxy nuts, maybe walnuts. Not to the extent of a Dalmore, but still.
Maybe like even a faint hazelnut.
Yeah. There's some dull smoke in there as well, actually. Like, I know it's hard for us to notice peat in whiskeys like this because we're so into Isla that it just seems to disappear in anything else when it's in a small amount. But I'm detecting a little bit of ashiness.
That might be the Royal Brackla.
Or I'm not sure. Maybe the Craigellachie.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Can't remember.
We've had Royal Brackla. I can't remember if that was smoky or not. Or was it slightly peated?
I think just they add like such a small percentage in most scotches in general, but not enough for people to pick out peatiness. but occasionally I'll detect a little bit of ashiness.
No.
And I'm detecting it in this. Raisins, some oats. Like it's got this kind of like plain biscuity flavor, but it matches with the maltiness and kind of reminds me of like a oat biscuit kind of thing, like an Anzac biscuit, but with less kind of brown sugar.
It's really tame. It's a really tame whiskey.
It's really smooth. Like I'm just gonna go with generic like notes. Smooth is like one of them.
Yeah, you can get some like raisins in there as well.
Raisins.
There's nut notes.
I get a bit of fresh grass, like a weird. That's what I got before. It was a weird kind of like.
It's like a freshness,
green grass. It's kind of like mulchy.
There's a slight hint of nutmeg as well, in the back.
Yeah. There's some spices, but there's like cloves maybe even. But they're very dull. Like they're not jumping out of the glass whatsoever.
It's actually it tastes a lot more interesting than it does on the nose.
Interesting than the nose, yeah, definitely.
What do you say? There's biscuits.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah. The Anzac biscuits. If you're just going for the age statement to experience an 18-year-old whiskey, one, you might be disappointed in you're not going to find a huge difference. I wouldn't be able to tell the difference between this and a 12. I don't think. But if you just want that, maybe even for a bloody flex value, you want to take it somewhere and be like, hey, I got an 18-year-old whiskey here.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Like,
it's good. It's good for that. It's not too expensive. It's affordable.
This is the type of whiskey I'd buy a non-whiskey drinker for like a 21st or a.
It's a great gift whiskey.
Yeah, a gift whiskey.
Who aren't into whiskey.
Because they'd be like, oh my god, 18-year-old, this must be really nice, and they taste it and it's extremely smooth. Yeah. It's extremely friendly.
For people who aren't into whiskey, like people, I don't know, there's that it's a very large group as well. Hard to describe them, that they're a huge group of whiskey drinkers who aren't whiskey drinkers. Like they'll drink their Dewars or their Johnnies or their, whatever. But they'll drink them only when they're drinking socially, and they'll most of the time mix it. If they're trying to impress someone, they may have it on the rocks, but that's, they're not, into their whole thing when they're not whiskey nerds like us.
Thank you for watching this episode of Everything Whiskey, our Dewar's 18 review. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. All our links to our socials down below, so go follow those. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.